if you were to pick one or two indicators, when should people start really gathering themselves and think about maybe we should go on-prem? Apart from the legal things, are there any other signs that you think you have that are good indicators that now we should talk about going on-prem?
Data. If you really have a lot of data in your system, which you need to go through, that equals cost pretty much.
Isn't data for processing or just storage?
Processing. I mean that you
Processing.
need to move, because in the cloud usually you pay for being able to transfer a lot of data.
Yeah, I completely agree with that.
Of course, depends on your budgets. If you want to spend money, go ahead.
And I think on your scale, because I think Dropbox, they use AWS, yes?
I don't know what they use.
I'm pretty sure they are using them.
Backblaze has its own data centers with own storage stuff, right? I think that's depends on the use case. And all those cloud storage, the business have their own approach in one or another. Why would you move? Why should you consider moving?
When is the right point? When you get those signs in the cornfield?
I think that the litmus test for me would be you're on the cloud, you're feeling the pain of, for example, stability, feeling the pain of inflexibility of the APIs. I'm talking about the built-in APIs of the services, not the flexibility of the infrastructure. And you have a team of people who can support you in the migration. Then just move. No, sorry. Then do the analysis. Do check whether it makes sense.
But I still think migration,
estimate the cost of migration, because as we mentioned, depending on what are you running on cloud, it can be more expensive or it can be less expensive. So it's not only what do you only gonna gain, but also how long the migration gonna take, what's the cost, what skill set do you need to being able to do it. Because if you have few clusters, you can quite easily take it and move to the bare metal. But if you have, as mentioned, a lot of cloud services provided by cloud, then you can, like we estimated, one customer, it's gonna take years being able to move them somewhere else or on-prem.
And also estimate whether the cost of moving is one-time thing. Because the example we talked about earlier, Paulina, about the cost of moving data. If you are moving to on-prem to avoid cost of moving data, but you're doing this data migration once, maybe it's cheaper to actually swallow the cost, pay the cloud provider for egress fees, do it once, and be done with it, rather than migrate, hoping that the cost will go down, which ends up being a one-time event, and you end up with the cost of maintaining your own infrastructure.
And we're coming here with also one principle. Are you cloud agnostic in your architecture design, or provider agnostic, or you're not? So that also gonna influence cost a lot.
Yeah, for sure. That's a nasty one. I think for me, the good indicator is simply that you've become large enough as an organization so that you can do the Bank of America trick. Jarek, that's the same thing that you mentioned. You have the capital, or you can afford the capital easily. And there is this tipping point of the scale at some point where you are big enough, large enough, and your cloud bill is so huge that actually that money could be reinvested in your own infrastructure and it could still cover the other costs. So it's basically pure math. But in my case, it's the pure math with taking all of those they are visible, but all of those Excel rows that people usually forget about it is. And I think, that's the only one apart from the obvious ones which we have discussed.